4 years ago, I was smacked by a major life change. The job and the team that I loved were made redundant. 1 minute I was preparing for a one-on-one with my boss. The next thing is I'm sitting in the car park with nothing to do. I've been working for the company for 8 years. I lost my salary and my stability. Was I devastated? Did I panic? Completely the opposite. I said to myself, this could lead to something even better. I could respond with optimism because I'm comfortable outside my comfort zone. A comfort zone is a place or a situation where we feel at ease and calm. We cling to this space because it's safe and predictable. But staying in this space could hold us back. If we're willing to take risks, pursue new opportunities and get out of our comfort zone, we can get to this place over here where the magic really happens. Now, being comfortable with discomfort doesn't come naturally. But the good news is it's a learned behaviour. So when I was made redundant, I knew I could respond with optimism because it had already happened to me twice before and it turned out just fine. In fact, more than fine. But I have to be honest, it's hard to feel good about being made redundant. And you're not necessarily going to get to a better place immediately, and sometimes you have to go sideways to go upwards. But being forced to take risks and pursue new opportunities has made me stronger, both personally and professionally. And it's taught me that change is the norm. It's not something to be afraid of, and that's particularly relevant right now when we've got a lot of change coming at us. So responding with optimism was possible because I'd already learned the behaviour of how to respond when it happened to me twice before. So if being comfortable with discomfort is a learned behaviour, how can we teach ourselves to respond better, to get out of our comfort zone? And I'm going to share with you my top 5 tips. So the first one is dare to begin before you're ready. This is a key takeaway from a really favourite book of mine called Jolt by Richard Tyler. And he says, we're always waiting for something to happen. We love certainty, so we wait for something to happen. And this is particularly prevalent right now with COVID-19. We're waiting for the next news about lockdown, aren't we? We're waiting for the next phase. We're waiting for our colleagues to come out of furlough. We're waiting for when budgets are going to come back. We're waiting for demand. We're waiting, insert excuse. We're always waiting for something to give us more certainty. Well, stop waiting. Just get on and try something. And as I say, dare to take a leap, dare to jump, begin before you're ready. And I love the words of Thomas Edison, which says, I haven't failed, I've found 10,000 ways that won't work. So try things, test approaches, treat everything as an experiment, which is what we love to do in marketing. And that's how you will, one reason how you break free of your comfort zone. And thinking that you can't do something actually is a limiting belief. And that brings me on to my second top tip. Challenge your limiting beliefs. So here we have the top 10 self-limiting beliefs. I'm too old, I'm not smart enough, I've tried that before, it won't work, I don't have enough willpower. Let's be honest, how many of you have heard that nasty voice in your head? Now, did you listen to that nasty voice or did you brush it away? Because beliefs are not facts. In the words of Audrey Hepburn, nothing is impossible. The word itself says, I'm possible. So is it just that we need to change our perspective? Ask a different question. And that's my third tip, change your perspective. So let's have a go at that. Let's change the question. Instead of saying, who's going to let me? Try asking, who's going to stop me? It'll completely change your ability to find a new solution because the brain will naturally try to find ways to do something, and we can't always wait for permission, can we, in this fast-paced world? This happened to me recently in my company. There was a process that was really challenging us and costing us dearly as a business. And I said to the team, we need to find a way to change this process. Please come back and tell me if it's possible. Lots of people went away and came back and said, it's not possible. And I thought to myself, okay, I remembered the words of a very wise friend of mine when I was trying to find a solution to something a few years ago, and he said to me, there's always an answer, you just haven't found it yet. So I gave this back to my team and I said, there's always an answer, you just haven't found it yet. So the answer is, we are going to change this process. The question is how we do it. What support do you need from me or anyone else in the company to unblock those barriers? When I reframed the question, within a week we'd found a solution. So that's the third one, is change your perspective. And I learnt about limiting beliefs when I was doing the Tony Robbins Firewalk a few years ago. Tony Robbins is an American life coach and guru. And my boss at the time was very into this kind of thing. So we went as a team along to this Tony Robbins weekend. And at the end of the first evening, we have to do the firewalk and we have to walk over hot coals in bare feet. And I'm thinking, are you kidding? Walking over hot coals in bare feet? I'm going to go up in flames. I learned this was a limiting belief. So it doesn't matter how you convince yourself, because I was thinking, I'm really not buying into this whole mind over matter stuff, but so I tried to put some logic behind it that I could relate to. And I thought, if thousands of people are walking over hot coals and they're not going up in flames, if they did, that wouldn't be a very sustainable business model now, would it? So I thought, it didn't happen to thousands of people before me, it must be possible, I will do it. And I did it. And once you've walked over hot coals in bare feet and you haven't got the tiniest burn, you do believe that you can do anything. So whenever I think I can't do something in the future, I question, is that fact, or is it a limiting belief? And do I need to change my perspective and ask a different question? Sometimes we bite off more than we can chew, and we try to tackle things in too big a step. So my fourth tip is to take small steps to achieve big dreams. And I have a phrase that I use, which is, have a direction, don't have a plan, because plans have a habit of not working out. And if you break things down into bite-sized chunks, and as long as you keep going in the right direction, you're going to get closer to achieving your dream. And for those of you that watched my TED Talk 4 years ago, you'll know that just putting one foot in front of the other is what helped me get up Kilimanjaro. Now, after I'd done the Tony Robbins Firewalk, it prompted me to reset my direction. And I thought, I'm not just going to be a marketing director, I'm going to be a marketing guru. Okay, what is it that I need in order to be a marketing guru? Well, I thought, I'll publish a book. And then I thought, well, I'm going to need content. How am I going to get content? And I put it out of my mind. But once your brain has got that direction, it will start finding ways to take you there, and it will make connections. So when a friend of mine approached me and said, have you thought about doing a doctorate? Of course, all of the nasty voices in my head, all of the limiting beliefs going, you can't afford that, you're not clever enough, now's not a good time, you can't do this. But this other voice in my head is going, that's going to give you content for the book. And that voice was stronger because the brain was trying to find a way, because I'd said that that was my direction. So the path to getting my doctorate wasn't easy, but I did manage it. And originally I started it in 2004, and I planned to complete it in 2008, and then I was going to write a book. As it happened, I submitted my thesis in December 2007. I was 9 months pregnant, and I got approached by Cisco with an amazing job. But the direction was, get the doctorate and publish the book. The timing was a little bit off, but I still managed it. In 2009, when my daughter was 18 months old, I graduated. And it should have been published in August, but in November this year, I'll be publishing my first book. Now that's 12 years after I planned to do it, but it'll be a much better book. So, have a direction, don't have a plan. And as Mike Tyson famously said, everyone has a plan until you get punched in the mouth. So, have you remembered my 5 key tips for breaking free of your comfort zone? Let's have a bit of a recap. The first one, dare to begin before you're ready. Think of Richard Tyler and Jolt. Don't wait. Don't wait until you get more certainty in this uncertain world. Just go out and do something, experiment. Remember the words of Thomas Edison. You haven't failed, you've just found ways that don't work. The next one is challenging your limiting beliefs. Ask yourself, is that a belief or is it a fact? Can I challenge it? Do I need to change my perspective, which is the third one? Ask a different question. Don't ask, who's going to let me? Ask, who's going to stop me? The fourth one is to break it down into bite-sized chunks. Take small steps to achieve big dreams. Just keep putting one foot in front of the other and you'll be able to achieve your goals. A little anxiety is good for you, but not a huge amount. So by taking small steps and by taking it into bite-sized chunks, you will help reduce your anxiety and fear of failure. And the last one is have a direction, don't have a plan. Because if you have a direction, your brain will naturally find ways to take you there, and you won't get knocked off course if the plan that you rigidly set for yourself doesn't work out. As Mike Tyson said, you have a plan until somebody punches you in the mouth. So have a direction and get to the place where the magic really happens outside of your comfort zone. Thank you.